Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is lesson 3 of the WIDA ACCESS listening test preparation, and today we're going to be working on the language arts section. So again, just some things to remember about the listening section of the WIDA ACCESS test. You will need up to 65 minutes to complete this section. The WIDA is an adaptive test, so the number of questions and their difficulty will vary, and you'll usually answer 2 or 3 questions on the same topic. The instructions are given through a recording at the beginning of each question, and there are no written instructions. Before listening, you'll see an image that introduces the topic or context, and you only see the answer options before listening. The answer options could be images or text. You can listen to the audio only once, and the question comes at the end of the audio, so you need to listen carefully to be able to answer it. Alright, so this lesson focuses on language arts, and the language of language arts involves vocabulary and phrases related to reading, writing, and literary analysis. And so this might include describing characters, plot elements, or the setting and context of a story, and it may include different essay styles or analysis of literary works. So to improve your listening comprehension, remember these tips. Read the answer choices first, and use the answer choices to help you predict what the question might be. The answer choices will help you to know what information to listen for. Use context clues. If there are visual clues, such as pictures, use the clues to predict what the speaker might discuss. Take notes. Write down keywords related to the topic, such as names, dates, and repeated items. Use a visual organizer or chart if that is easier for you. Listen for signal words. Words like for example, in conclusion, however, because, etc. can indicate changes, comparisons, transitions, or key parts of the speech. And take your time. You have lots of time on the WIDA ACCESS test, so don't rush. Alright, so the first topic is social media. So these are some questions just to think about before you listen. What is social media, and do you use social media?
Social media. This language arts class is learning about social media. You will listen and answer questions about social media.
Alright, so you're going to take a moment to read the answer choices and then you'll listen. So, choice A is to play games with others. Choice B, to buy things online. And C, to connect and share updates. So based on these answer choices, think about what the question might be, and then listen and remember to take notes while you're listening.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
People use social media to connect and share with others. Websites like Facebook and Instagram help friends and families stay in touch. Today, more than 4 billion people around the world use social media. Many people share photos, videos, and news with each other. This makes it easy to know what is happening in each other's lives. Social media is a big part of everyday life and is popular for keeping in contact with people, even when they are far away.
What is the main use of social media mentioned?
Alright, you'll check your notes and then choose one of the answer choices. And then the correct answer is C, to connect and share updates. And you can see that from the transcript here. In the very first line, it says people use social media to connect and share with others. Makes it easy to know what is happening in each other's lives and keeping in contact with other people. All right, we're going to listen to the next question, but before we do that, look at these questions. Think about what other ways can you use social media and which social media platforms are popular where you live.
The class continues. Listen and answer the questions.
Right, so you can take a moment to look at the chart and then read the answer choices, and then we'll listen. So A, it allows people to follow breaking news and connect with global events. It helps people learn to spend less time online each day. It provides a place to play games with friends and share photos. And then the chart shows Americans who get news from social media and comparing 5 years ago with today. So let's listen.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Social media is not just for sharing personal moments, it's also a major way people stay informed. Many people check social media daily to read news, learn about events, and follow what's happening around the world. Statistics show that about 48% of Americans use social media as a regular source of news. On average, people spend over 2 hours each day on platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. By connecting communities and giving easy access to information, social media has become a useful tool for staying updated and aware.
According to the teacher, how does social media help people stay informed?
All right, so check your notes and then choose one of these answers. And the correct answer is A. How does social media help people stay informed? It allows people to follow breaking news and connect with global events. And here in the transcript you can see the sentence that supports that answer. Right, the next section, again, another question on social media. How does social media impact your life? And are the effects mainly positive or negative? Just some things to think about.
The class continues. Listen and answer the questions.
So take a moment to read the answer choices and then we'll listen. Social media is mainly beneficial because it promotes global awareness. Misinformation on social media can lead to confusion and influence beliefs. And social media's primary impact is positive with minimal negative effects. So let's listen.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Social media has a significant impact on society, with both positive and negative aspects. On one hand, it increases global awareness by allowing people to follow news and social issues instantly. However, social media also spreads misinformation quickly. Studies reveal that false information spreads 6 times faster than true information. This can create confusion and impact people's beliefs and decisions. Furthermore, experts link heavy social media use with mental health challenges, such as anxiety. Understanding these effects can help people use social media more responsibly and critically.
What claim does the teacher make about the influence of social media?
All right, check over your notes and choose one of these answers. And the correct answer is B. Misinformation on social media can lead to confusion and influence beliefs. And here are the sentences in the transcript that support the answer. All right, the next section, we're going to be talking about figurative language. So can you explain what figurative language is and give some examples? And what kind of story do you think the teacher will read?
Figurative language. This language arts class is learning about figurative language. Listen as the teacher reads the class part of a story.
Okay, so just take a look at the pictures, see if you can tell what's going on in each of these, and then listen and take notes.
Take a moment now to look at the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Rena and Max attended the school talent show. Afterwards, Rena described the show to Max using similes, words with different meanings, and metaphors to talk about the performances. Rena says, "The show started with Avi. He played the guitar so well. It was like he had fire in his fingers." Max says, "Wow, he must have been incredible to watch." Rena says, "Yes, it looked like his hands were burning as he played, and the music just flowed like water."
Rena uses a metaphor to compare Avi's guitar playing to fire. Which picture shows the literal or actual meaning of the metaphor Rena uses?
All right, so take a look at those, think about your answer, and then continue. So the correct answer is B. So Rena uses a metaphor to compare Avi's guitar playing to fire, which picture shows the literal or actual meaning of the metaphor Rena uses. So it's B, and the sentence to support that is he had fire in his fingers. Alright, we'll listen to another story. Again, before you do that, look at the picture. What do you think about what the next part of the story will be? And can you think of any figurative language that might be used in this story?
The language arts class continues learning about figurative language. Listen as the teacher reads the next part of the story.
All right, take a look at the answer choices. So weather with wind and rain, an intense or noisy situation, a fight or argument, and a big mistake. So go ahead and listen, take some notes, and prepare to answer the question that you'll hear.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Rena continues. The next act was the thunderclouds. The three performers sang and played their instruments so loudly. By the end of the song, the crowd was a storm of applause. Max says, "That sounds like an amazing show. Was the crowd really that loud?" Rena says, "Yes, they were clapping and cheering like a real thunderstorm."
In this story, Rena uses the word storm to describe the crowd. Which meaning does the word storm have in the story?
Check your notes and then choose one of these answers. And the correct answer is B. An storm in this context means an intense or noisy situation. We can support that with this phrase, the crowd was a storm of applause. All right, we'll listen to another story. Again, look at the picture. What do you think this next part of the story will be about? And can you think of any figurative language that might be used in this part of the story?
The language arts class continues learning about figurative language. Listen as the teacher reads the next part of the story.
So first, take a look at the answer choices. I am as happy as a clam. Sahana's act was the funniest of all. Her jokes were lightning. She was so funny I laughed for a month.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Rena says, "The last act was Sahana, the comedian." Max says, "Sahana really knows how to entertain." What was her performance like? Rena says, "You wouldn't believe it. Her jokes were so sharp, they could have cut through the air. I was laughing so hard that I felt like I couldn't catch my breath."
Rena uses a metaphor to describe Sahana's jokes as sharp, which is another example of a metaphor.
Okay, now check your notes. So the correct answer is B. Sorry, actually it's C. Her jokes were lightning. Only answer C is the metaphor. Answer A is the simile because it uses the as. And B is the superlative. And D is hyperbole. So we'll need to get that changed here. This should be the correct answer is C. Alright, so just some reflection. Which questions did you find the easiest to answer and why? Which questions were difficult to answer and why? And what do you need to remember to do when you take the WIDA Access listening test? And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.